do I think reflection is real? Absolutely, and I think there's many different kinds of reflection. There's the reflection that life is constantly presenting to us everywhere we go, with everyone we meet, as well as how we perceive that which we're looking at. And when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change, the reflections change, and then you can start to see just how real that is. And as you practice and start to play with that in life, as well as taking the time to reflect on your own life, is also a very real thing. Creating space to reflect on the choices we've made, the experiences we've had, that's how we come to learn the patterns that we're living out, whether they're positively influencing our life or perhaps not so much, and that's how we can start to implement change. But yes, reflection is very, very real.
I totally agree that reflection is real, and it is something that I guide myself in life from. Let's say if there is a person that bothers me, like let's say his or her behavior bothers me in a certain way, that behavior show me just like a mirror whatever I carry inside, because I wouldn't be touched by his or her behavior if I wouldn't carry that inside. And we can see so clearly if we are willing to see, and if we make a step back and we want to see what other person can show us about ourselves.
This is a very good question, and I've thought about it, and then it came to me, yes, it is absolutely real. It's just a matter of awareness, our conscious awareness of how do we see that. And I thought about your asking example coming up, but maybe before we come to that, my first reflection would be my mother. So that would be coming to my life. That would be my first example coming to it. And not realizing, okay, what is it about that I have this mother in my life? And then later on, other people come to your life and you say, why is that person came into my life at that time? And for being aware, so I thought, okay, what are some things that I think are important for that reflection? So that reflection, if you think of it as a mirror and the filters in front of it, I thought there are 5 things that are really key. One is anger. The other one is lust, greed, jealousy, and attachment. So these are some of the things that block my understanding. So I'm looking at you and say, okay, do I have awareness of connecting with you? How that reflection, see that reflection. If I'm angry, I'm not going to see that. If I'm jealous or I have lust or whatever are those attachments that I have, I'm not going to see behind that. So first is to drop those. And from my perspective, in my spiritual path, I do those spiritual exercises to drop those and be able to see that. And that since I've done that, I became aware of people and a lot of things, activities happens around me, and I love it. And I love the fact that you're asking that question.
I do think reflection is real because it's something that it's a kind of a thought process that you go through when you decide on how certain things that happen in your life and how it impacts you, and how you decide how it leaves an imprint in your life.
Absolutely, yeah. Like we're both in an experience and we have the ability to observe it at the same time. And the more we start to see that life is a constant reflection of the life we're living, and that we are in play with the universe constantly, then the best example I can think of is even just right now, being in this moment here with you is a reflection of things that I've wanted to experience, I've wanted to share, and you came into my life a couple of years ago, and I actually remember the first time I met you that I had a very strong energetic resonance with you and felt there were parts of you that were reflecting parts of me inside. And as we've gotten to know each other, those parts have started to reveal themselves. And I was just having a conversation with a dear friend the other day who's going through a health crisis, and she's really starting to see how her health crisis is an awakening, is a reflection for her of the choices she's made in life. And she's now pulling and peeling away those layers to see exactly how she's speaking to herself in these reflections. And it's very empowering to look at life that way as well.
Yeah, I strongly believe that, and I also believe that whatever is our energy inside, our level of energy will attract the same level of energy people, say like that, in order to show us what lessons we need to integrate and to work with. Let's say if I woke up today in a very angry mood, right? Everything around me will be surrounded either by angry people, either by streets work, like, you know, packed with cars on the way to work or on the way back to home. But if I wake up this morning feeling, you know, with an open heart and feeling good and grateful about life and about everything, I will also attract in my life those kind of situations that will reflect whatever I carry inside that particular day.
Absolutely, think of it as a lesson, spiritual lessons is happening. I either get it sooner or later. The harder it is, the harder the lesson is, easier you get it. So the sooner you get something, you'll see the reasoning behind it. You are able to move on and go to the next path or next lesson for you. Otherwise, you see, why am I getting the same thing? Why am I seeing the same problems, be it in a personal life, business life? So why am I seeing this bad client coming left and right? Every client's, or vice versa. You're saying, well, why is it I'm getting all these good clients coming that I wasn't expecting, or these friendly people coming? There is a projection that you're putting on when you're working on your inner guidance or inner spirit, divine spirit.
I do think so, because I'm a firm believer in what you expel is what you receive back. So if you expel good energy, you'll receive good energy back. And it's like the old saying that treat people how you want to be treated. So I do believe that.
I think by constantly being open to any and all parts of myself that are awakening, and it's a constant unfolding, it's peeling away the layers, it's allowing myself to pass through the waves and windows of daily experiences and managing my inner self. I don't know if managing is sort of is the word I would choose. I think I would choose the relationship I have with my inner self is one that is constantly evolving, and I choose to connect with my inner self by practicing things like meditation and yoga, writing, speaking from the heart.
I do use a lot of mindfulness, and in order to get that point of mindfulness, I use a lot of yoga and breathing exercises in order to keep myself awake during the day, you know. And whenever I feel that I am touched or triggered by some situations or people, usually I'm, you know, make a step back, have few breathing exercises, and, you know, just have the willingness to observe. So this is how I usually deal with this situation.
How do I manage my inner self? That's key is being aware again. I think that's the awareness, my inner self, my inner communication. So I think of it as an unfoldment. It's for me to reach my inner self or divine self, or how you want to call it, some people call it, is to be silent in some ways, to listen to those things around you. And you have to make a distinct effort of doing that. You have to put the time in. It's just like working out, exercising, I put it in. If I don't do that exercise, those spiritual exercise, call it, then I'm not going to reach my inner self. Maybe someday I will, but the sooner I want to, the more exercises I do, I reach that. I'll use that example of exercising for myself because I'm in health, and I've come to that the path, and that's what I think reaching the inner or divine spirit is involved is doing more. My exercises being meditation for me. I sing Hugh. That's one of the things I sing, and that helps me.
The best way to do that is with reflection, because how you do that is seeing how, thinking back and reflecting on negative and positive things that happen in your life, and using that to control how you react on future things that happen to you. So I think with using reflection, you kind of create a stronger mental thought process and also a decision-making process. So how you may react towards a certain thing may not be the same way you react towards something else.
Is constantly evolving.
Acceptance.
Comes to mind is euphoria. Euphoria is again in a sense of beyond any pleasure that you can think of. That's what I come to mind.
It would be contentment.
I believe we are the reflection of light. What do you think?